Hello, and welcome to the Stepping Into Your Calling podcast. It is time to ask yourself the questions you've been avoiding. Am I good enough? Why do I feel so sad? Am I doing everything I can do? Do they hate me? Is there something better for me out there? Whether you're a single woman trying to live a more joyful life, a married woman struggling in your relationship, or a mother trying to be the best parent you can be, this is the podcast for you. The Stepping Into Your Calling podcast is a live workshop style health and fitness podcast packed with actionable steps that will help you live a more fulfilling life. Host Sol Lagunas brings her knowledge as a registered nurse, mother of 3 children, wife, student, and faith-based leader to inspire you to step into your calling without fear. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Stepping Into Your Calling podcast with your host, me, Sol Lagunas. Today, we are talking about limiting beliefs. How many of you have heard the term limiting beliefs? Where did you hear it, and what do you know about them? Let me know on our Facebook private group. You will find the link in the description box of this episode. Okay, let's get right into it. According to Mark Manson, who is the author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving Up, defines limiting beliefs as a false belief that prevents us from pursuing our goals and desires. Another definition I found on the TonyRobbins.com website is limiting beliefs are the stories we tell ourselves about who we are that hold us back from becoming who we are meant to be. They can be subconscious beliefs we aren't even aware of until someone points them out and says, hey, that's a limiting belief. But the most important thing to know about limiting beliefs is that these thoughts keep you from becoming the best version of yourself. They keep you from reaching your full potential. And as I like to say it, limiting beliefs keep you from stepping into your calling. This podcast is all about that. Stepping into your calling, reaching your full potential, and becoming the best version of yourself. So it should not be a surprise to you that I'm talking about limiting beliefs today. Some very common limiting beliefs are the following. I am not enough. I don't have enough time. I don't deserve X, Y, Z. I don't have what it takes. Have you said this to yourself lately? I can easily tell you my number one limiting belief is I don't have time. I don't have time to have a date night with my partner. I don't have time to take the kids to the park. I don't have time to record, edit, and publish this podcast episode. And you know what that leaves me with? That leaves me with guilt. Guilt that I'm not putting enough effort into my relationship. Guilt that I am not spending enough time with my kids. Guilt that I am not doing what God has called me to do. Those last 3 sentences cause a spiral effect in my feelings that leaves me feeling sad and depressed. Can you relate to any of those feelings or thoughts? What helped me overcome and continues to help me overcome the limiting belief of I do not have enough time is the narrative I tell myself. You and I have the same amount of time in a day. 24 hours, 7 days a week. I have the same number of hours as Marie Forleo, Tony Robbins, Jay Shetty, Mel Robbins, all people I admire and look up to. I have the same number of hours as Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian. All people who have successful businesses and are busy living life to the fullest. So now, think of someone you admire, someone that's doing something you want to do. Write down what your specific limiting belief is. Can you imagine the person you admire telling herself they can't do X, Y, and Z because they aren't enough? There isn't enough time. They don't have the skills. That would probably be something extremely hard to imagine, seeing as how the person you admire is successful at doing the thing you want to do. That person you admired started off in the same position you're in. The only difference is that they did not allow the limiting beliefs to keep them from being successful and reaching their full potential. Is this making sense to you? Limiting beliefs are all around us. The important thing is that you identify what limiting belief you tell yourself and change the story behind it. Like I mentioned, for me, time is everything. If I don't have it or feel like I don't have it, I spiral out of control emotionally. Instead of thinking I don't have time to do the things I want, I tell myself, where can I find time to do this? This has helped me organize and prioritize my tasks. As I've gotten older, I've become more intentional about my time and where it is spent. My priorities have changed over the years, but what I have noticed is that when I really want to do something, it gets done. I'm not a fan of working out, and every time I tell myself I should work out, it just does not happen. However, when I started the 75 hard challenge, I was not telling myself I should work out. I was telling myself I must work out. Working out went from being an option to becoming part of my daily routine. What are some limiting beliefs you tell yourself? If you aren't sure, I recommend reflecting on it. Write down your biggest challenges or fears around certain things. What makes your heart race? Is it speaking in front of a large crowd? Write it down and write down the reasons you feel challenged by speaking in front of a crowd. The best way to find out what your limiting beliefs are is through self-reflection. Writing in a journal and really tackling through your thoughts and the things or the reasons why you feel challenged will help you work out your limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs stem from our childhood experiences, generational traumas, or beliefs and life experiences you have dealt with. If you're a parent, think about the things you teach your child. The way you talk about certain things to your child will create a limiting belief in their head. If you tell your child they can't do certain things because they will get hurt or because they will look silly, you're placing a boundary in their head that will cause them to limit their behaviors. I have talked about this before. It is so difficult to admit to this, but I would not tell my kids half the things I tell myself, meaning I wouldn't ever think to tell my child, you're not enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not strong enough. So why do we tell ourselves this? Have you noticed how our children are fearless? They speak their minds and do what they feel like doing without worrying about anything else. That is because they're not limited by any belief. Yet, as children grow older, they go through experiences that shape their thinking. As adults, those thoughts turn into limiting beliefs, unless you break the self-sabotage cycle. And yes, limiting beliefs are breakable. It all starts with your decision to break the toxic cycle. One thing I think about as I discuss limiting beliefs is imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is rooted in limiting beliefs. The fear of being found out or seen as an imposter is a limiting belief. Imposter syndrome is a constant battle of the driven individual like you and I. Imposter syndrome happens when you are starting a new business or a new job or title. You start feeling like you aren't good enough to be in that position of a business owner because you have yet to achieve success. And remember, success is defined differently from different people. I'll give you another example. You were recently promoted from a supervisor to branch manager. Instead of overseeing a couple of employees, you now manage a whole unit. And the first month, you're introduced as a branch manager, but you start doubting your capabilities because you have only managed for 1 month. You start looking around at other branch managers who have been doing this for 5 to 10 years. Your head starts to fill with doubts. Who do you think you are to be a branch manager? You're a newbie. You don't know anything. Those are the limiting beliefs that lead you to feel imposter syndrome. In the moment, you forget all those branch managers had a day one. At some point in their career, they were also newbies. You cannot compare your day one with someone's 5+ years. It just does not make sense. And I want to get a little personal with you just for a second because I talk a lot about limiting beliefs in general when I'm having conversations with different people, with friends, with family. I'm usually the listening friend, right? Like I'll ask you a question and I'll listen to you and I'll give you my feedback if you ask for it. But a lot of the times, those are the things that I suffer from too. So another limiting belief that I have right now that is really just getting in the way of my authenticity or feeling like I belong somewhere is my network marketing company. I joined Lavelle back in 2020. So this is right before the peak of COVID. So I joined in January of 2020 and I've been in network marketing for 3 years now. The problem with me and network marketing is not the company itself, it's not the compensation plan. The products are amazing. All of that is just perfect. Everything I have to be successful in the company is available to me. The problem is me. I continue thinking that I am not enough. I don't feel like I have what it takes to run a successful network marketing company. Why do I keep putting myself down? Like, those are the challenges that I work through every single day. So, if you watch me on my Instagram, if you're watching me on Facebook and you see me post my products, talk about my story, talk about the opportunity, I battle through that before actually showing up and doing the damn thing. I get in the way of myself. I really do. I look at everyone who has been successful in network marketing and I start comparing myself. And that's why I talked about imposter syndrome, because I feel like I battle through it every single day when it comes to my network marketing company. I compare myself to those who've been successful, those who start and are like an instant hit and instant success. Yet I don't know what's at the other side of that story, right? I don't know the battles that that person has gone through or what drives them to work so hard and go from 0 to 100 in a matter of months when I can't get myself to 10 in a matter of 3 years, right? And even that sentence alone is a limiting belief. Like, why do I keep putting myself down? Don't want to sound salesy, and that's my problem. Like, I don't want to sell products and I'm in the line of selling products, if that makes any sense. The thing is, for me, the reason why I decided to start my network marketing business is because the products were that good. I was in a real bad emotional situation before starting Thrive. I felt like I think I was borderline depressed. Honestly, I never really spoke with anyone about it. I just lived day through day. But of course, I was working really hard in my network marketing company because that's what I want my future to look like. I don't want to have to clock in and out at a 9 to 5, or in my case, work night shift for 12-hour shifts just so that I can have the availability in the morning to be with my kids. I don't want that to be my life forever, you know? And I know that network marketing gives anyone, and it has given me the opportunity to start my own business and to possibly create generational wealth in the future for my kids and their kids. The only reason I'm not there yet is because I believe, or my limiting belief is, who the heck do you think you are to be doing that, you know? And those are the constant battles that I have. I don't want to sound salesy. The products are amazing. The comp plan is amazing. Everything is great. I have the resources available. It's just me getting in the way. And I know that for you, you're working on something, whether it's going back to school, whether it is starting a job, whether it is becoming a full-time stay-at-home parent. You're telling yourself or feeling with all these emotions that you can't possibly do the certain thing that you need to do in order to feel fulfilled or feel happier in life in general, to feel more joy. I can totally relate to you. And I'm just going to tell you, like, really start working on that mindset. I did an episode on mindset a couple of episodes ago. So if you want, go check that out. Really start working on the things that make you feel happier, that make you feel more joy. That 9 to 5 could be a temporary solution to something that's gonna turn into a humongous success in the future for you. So I'm not telling you to go and quit your job and start a business tomorrow. I'm just saying work through those limiting beliefs, write them down, tackle them, start changing the story that you tell yourself, start changing the narrative. I've gone through different limiting beliefs in my life as I've gotten older, and I'm not even that old, you guys. I know it sounds like I'm 50 or something, but no, I am in my 30s and I've gone through like the belief of not being smart enough to become a registered nurse. And I've been a nurse for 5 years now. I've gone through the belief of, I'm not capable to parent these three amazing children because I can't even, like, I was going through postpartum depression. I can't even get my shit together. And now I have to be the parent to three kids. How can I possibly do that? And my kids are 9, 6, and 5, and they're the happiest kids you will ever meet. If you come around, and I'm not just saying that because they're my kids, of course, I'm biased, but if you come around and you meet my kids, you're gonna see how happy they are. And that's because I decided that I was gonna work on myself and be the best version of me to them so that they can see a happy, joyful mommy that's always there for them regardless. And so I feel like I've been working through that, and it's a continuous effort from my end, and it's going to be a continuous effort from your end. It doesn't just happen overnight. Stop beating yourself up if you can't do something right the first time. Like, that's why there's experiences. That's why there's learning moments, because you're going through life and you're actually making the decisions. And even if you fail, you learn something. And failure, I don't like to say failure because I really don't think there's such a thing as failing. I think it's just all about learning and having those experiences that will make you a better person or make you and help you make better decisions in the future. And I can't say that I'm here today because I was just born into this. I really have had to work through some traumas in my life to be where I am at today. And it's a continued effort. I have to work on myself every single day in order for me to come and talk to you about how you can help and work on yourself. Limiting beliefs is part of life. Your limiting beliefs are going to be different from mine. The biggest thing to take away from this is just working through each of them and realizing that they are just limiting beliefs. They're not something that would actually keep you from reaching whatever success you want to reach, whatever success looks like for you. All those things are really just things that you should work on top of that, working on your mindset, and on top of that, knowing that you're worthy of taking up space in this world, knowing that you are, that love is available to you, that you are a child of God. I mean, I can't get on this podcast and talk to you about X, Y, and Z without all going back to God and just giving him the full praise and giving him the full thanks because he's been faithful to you through all those tribulations that you have gone through. Where there's a valley, there's a mountain at each end. So just remember that, hold that deep in your heart. Remember to give thanks, give praise, to pray. If it's something is bothering you, if you're having a limited belief that you can't just work through, ask God to give you the guidance. Ask him to give you his wisdom to tackle through that limiting belief. And that's all that I have for you today. But thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget to rate, review this podcast. That's the only way more people are going to be able to see this episode air out. And don't forget to join our private Facebook group so we can continue the discussion on limiting beliefs. Have an amazing day. Bye. I am so happy you just finished listening to that podcast. If you don't mind, after this is done, go and rate the podcast. That's the only way more people are going to be able to get reached. More knowledge is going to be spread and more lives are going to be changed. So if you don't mind doing that favor for me, I would appreciate you. I already appreciate you for listening to this podcast. I love you so much. Thank you for being such a great person and super supportive. I cannot wait for you to listen to the next one. Till then, have a good day.